So, good day everyone. So, our lesson for today is about lesson 21. So, about understanding sexual harassment. So, learning objective. So, at the end of this module, students should be able to understand fully the various theoretical perspectives on sexual harassment, distinguish the various theoretical perspectives of sexual harassment from each other, and understand the laws in the Philippines and sexual harassment in the academy and in the workplace. So, what is sexual harassment? So, ang sexual harassment, it is an act or a series of acts involving any unwelcome sexual advance, request, or demand for a sexual favor, or other verbal or physical behavior of a sexual nature committed by a government, employee, or official in a work-related, training, or education-related environment. So, ang kanilang sexual harassment is any unwanted sexual behavior like touching, road jokes, asking for sexual favors, or kanang mga dirty messages. So, in short, is kanang mga binastos ganing nga lihok. Ana. So, it usually happens when someone in power like boss sila or teacher, so takes advantage of someone under their authority. So, ingon si Namhasser Henning Ho and Laulom, a form of discrimination on the ground of sex, contrary to the principle of treatment between sa men ag sa woman. So, sa International Labor Organization, is a sex-based behavior that is unwelcome and offensive to the recipient. So, it is also a form of violence primarily against women. So, RA number 7877 of the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. So, kani nga law is ga-define siya sa work, education, or training-related sexual harassment committed by any person having authority, influence, or moral ascendancy over another in a work, or training, or education environment, demands, requests, or otherwise acquires any sexual factors from the other regardless of whether the demand, request, or requirement for submission is accepted by the object of said act. So, kana nga law is meant to protect people, meant to protect people from sexual harassment sa workplace, sa school, o sa training area. So, kini nga law is kanang nag-ingon siya nga bawal ang harassment kung usa ka tawo nga naay power or authority sama sa boss, teacher, or trainer. So, magbuhat sila og sexual advances or actions nga dili gusto sa usa ka tawo. So, kani nga law helps create a safe and respectful environment for everyone. So, ari na punta sa 5 widely accepted theories of sexual harassment. First is ang natural or biological theory. Next is ang sexual spillover theory, organizational theory, socio-cultural theory, and last is ang feminist theory. So, kani nga mga theories is mao ni sila ang nag-explain nganong mahitabo ang harassment or nganong naay harassment. Yeah. So first is ang natural or biological theory. So according to this model, men have stronger sex drives and are therefore biologically motivated to engage in sexual pursuit of women. Thus, the harassing behavior is not meant to be offensive or discriminatory, but it's merely the result of biological urges. So, according sa kaning theory is, ang lalaki daw naturally mas kusog og sexual drives kaysa babae. So tungod ani ilang sexual behavior like flirting or pursuing women is seen as a biological instinct dili tungod sa patintal or panginsulto. So kani nga theory is controversial siya and often criticized kay ginalabanan niya ang mga lalaki nga nagbuhat og harassment. So murag kisabot-sabot nga okay ra ang natural ay okay ra kay natural raman, so it ignores the importance of consent, respect, and gender equality. Next is ang sex rules spillover theory. So this theory is based on the proposition of the relevant gender-based rule expectations that individuals bring to the workplace in guiding their interaction with women. So men hold real perception of women based on their traditional role in our culture. So kaning nga theory ga-explain siya that people bring gender-based expectation into the workplace even if relevant siya sa trabaho. So men often base their treatment of women on traditional gender roles sa culture. For example, kay ang babae kay dapat submissive, caring, or sexual object. So, instead nga tanawon ang babae as a co-worker, so ilang interaction nakabase sa stereotypes gikan sa gawa sa trabaho, like being flirted with or treated as a inferior. So, ang sexual spillover ay means nga nadala ang traditional roles sa babae from home or society. So, from home or society padulong sa workplace. So, bisan wala na ilabot sa ilang trabaho. So, tungod ani, some men might treat women inappropriately, not as professionals, but based on stereotypical gender roles. Next is ang organizational theory. So, proponents of this theory propose that one of the central concepts that helps to explain sexual harassment is power. So, this theory proposes that sexual harassment results from the opportunities presented by power and authority relations which derive from hierarchical structure of organization. So, kani nga theory gaingon po siya nga ang sexual harassment kasagaran may tabo tungod sa power imbalance sulod sa organization. So, ang sexual harassment is not just personal but also structural tungod sa power gap between people. So, ang environment mismo sa organization, especially kung walay klarong anti-harassment policies or weak leaderships, so maka-encourage na og harassment. Next is ang social culture theory. So, ang social culture theories examine the wider social and political context in which sexual harassment is created and occurs. So, according to this perspective, sexual harassment logical consequence of the gender inequality and sexism that already exist in society. So, ang kaning theory looks at the bigger picture, the social and political environment where sexual harassment happens. So, it says that sexual harassment is a result of gender inequality and sexism padaan na nag-exist sa society. So, since ang atong culture mas naghatag og power sa lalaki kaysa babae, so, ang harassment becomes a logical consequence of that imbalance. So, ang sexual harassment is not just personal or workplace-based but rooted sa atong culture mismo. So, ang unequal treatment sa mga babae sa society like sexism, discrimination, or stereotypes nag-create og environment nga conducive sa harassment. Next is ang feminism theory. So, according to the feminist perspective, sexual harassment is linked to the sexist male ideology of male dominance and male superiority in the society. Therefore, feminist theories view sexual harassment as the product of a gender system maintained by a dominant normative form of masculinity. So, according sa feminist perspective, ang sexual harassment is connected to the idea of male dominance and the belief in male superiority in society. So, Ang sexual harassment is viewed as a direct result of gender inequality where men hold dominant power over women. So this theory nag-emphasize siya nga ang harassment is a product of a system where traditional masculinity defined by power, control, and aggression. So is normalized and upheld by society. So ang feminist theory dahil sees sexual harassment as the manifestation of a patriarchal system, a system where male dominance is normalized. So ang harassment is not just an individual act, but a reflection of the power imbalance between genders perpetuated by society's norms. So, relevance of sexual harassment theories. So, kato nga mga theory, ga-highlight siya sa consistent dominance of men over women in social and organizational settings. So, our research confirms that harassment is widespread and impacts psychological well-being and health. So, kato nga mga theories is mauto siya, ga-explain siya sa anong mahitabo ang katong harassment. So, kanaari na punta sa Philippine laws on sexual harassment. So, ang Republic Act of 1877 or the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995 is the governing law for work, education, or training-related sexual harassment. So, mao ni siya ang ga-protect sa sexual harassment. So, ang sexual harassment committed when sa workplace or sa employment environment kay the sexual favor is made as a condition in the hiring or in the employment, re-employment or continued employment of said individual. So, kung ang sexual favor gihimo nga requirement para ma-hire ka or para makadawat ka og benefits sa trabaho, so this means if someone in power like your boss asks for sexual favors in exchange for something work-related like hiring you, keeping your job, giving you a raise, or promoting you, so that is a sexual harassment. Next is the above acts would impair the employee's right or privileges under existing labor's laws. So, kung ang harassment naka-violate sa imong rights as a worker, so, if tinuod sa harassment na pakialaman or nalimit ang imuhang rights under labor laws, so like fair treatment, safe workplace, or equal opportunity, so kana, sexual harassment gyapon na. Next is the above acts will result in an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment for the employee. So, even kung walay direct offer or threat, pero ang mga actions like dirty jokes, staring, touching, or making you feel unsafe, so nakahimo sa workplace nga uncomfortable or makalisang, so then, that is also a sexual harassment. Next is sa education or sa training. So, against one who is under the care, custody, or supervision of the offender. So, kung gibuhat sa katawo nga nagbantay o supervisor sa estudyante, so, if ang offender, if for example, ang teacher, trainer, or ang head, kay in the charge sa care or supervision sa estudyante, kunya siya mismo ang nagbuhat og sexual harassment. So, kana is a violation. Next is against one whose education, training, apprenticeship, or tutorship is entrusted to the offender. So if kanang kung ang offender mao'y gisaligan sa pagtudlo o training sa victims, so if ikaw sa estudyante or trainee, ug ang offender mao'y gitahasan sa imong education or training like teacher, coach, or tutor, then any sexual misconduct from them is considered harassment. Next is when the sexual favor is made a condition to giving of a passing grade, granting of honors and scholarships, or the payment of a stipend, allowance, or other benefits, privileges, or consideration. So, kung gihimong condition o sexual favor para sa grado, honors, or allowance, so, kanang if giingnan ka nga hatagi ko favor aron makapasar ka, so that is clearly a harassment. So anytime nga gihimo ang sexual favor as requirement for kana passing grades, scholarship, or honor, so number allowance or school benefits, that is a sexual harassment. Next is when the sexual advances result in an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment of the student, trainee, or apprentice. So, kung ang sexual advances nakahimo og hadlok, bastos o di na comfortable nga learning environment, so kanang even if walay direct threat pero ang action sa imong offender nakapahimo sa lugar nga hostile or offensive, so it is a harassment. So, are na punta sa sexual harassment in the civil service. So, sexual harassment in the civil service is punishable by Civil Service Commission number 010940, also known as Administrative Disciplinary Rules on Sexual Harassment Cases. So, sexual harassment can be committed at the following places. So, number 1 is sa sulod mismo sa workplace, sa office, sa school, o sa training institution. So, it can happen sa building or area mismo sa trabahoan o eskwelahan. Next is sa bisan asa nga lugar basta tungod sa trabaho, education, or training nga relation. So, even kung wala sa opisina or sa school, basta naamo sa usa ka lugar kay related sa inyong trabaho o sa training. So, sexual harassment can still happen. So, number 3 is sa mga social functions nga may kalabutan sa trabaho, school, o training. So, if naamo sa party, seminar, or celebration nga related sa inyong work or sa school, and harassment happens there. So, counted gihapon. Next, while on the official business or travel. So, kung nag-travel mo tungod sa work or sa training, bisag wala mo sa opisina or sa school, so harassment can still occur. Next is sa mga conferences, sa forums, sa symposia, o sa training session. So, basta official event related to work or school, any misconduct during those events is considered harassment. Last is inaagi sa communication tools, sa phone, sa fax, or sa email, or etc. So, even kung walay physical contact pero ginahimo ang harassment through calls, text, chats, or email, so sexual harassment gihapon na. So, next is the following forms of sexual harassment committed through. So, first is ang physical acts. So, malicious touching, overt sexual advances. So, ang overt sexual advances is directly or overtly making sexual moves or action like trying to kiss, hug, or touch someone without consent. Next is ang gestures with loud insinuation. So, for example, kay pagsugit sa gamit ang lawas or facial expression. So, makonsider gyapon siya as harassment. Next is ang verbal acts. So, ang sexual favors. So, sa kanang sabotable lang nino, sexual, nangay siya kanang mga sexual favors nimo in exchange for something. Next is ang lurid remarks. So, mga bastos nga comments or panabi. For example, kanang mga kanabi nga pwede bata mag-date or ganahan ko nimo kay sexy ka. Next is ang use of objects. So, picture or graphics gamit ang mga bastos nga pictures, videos, or drawings nga nakahatag og sexual implication. Next is ang letters or written works. So, pagsulat og mga liham o mensahe nga adunay sexual nga term or implication. So, that's all. Thank you.